Right, here I am in a new folder. I'm just going to create an index HTML file and style.css file. We'll use VS Code's built-in Emmet to give us the boilerplate there. And we will add a CSS link to link in our style sheet. Let's just get the live server running and see how it looks. Okay, so I've rearranged my screens a bit so that everything's in shot and I can get access to the windows that I need to look at. And the next thing I'm going to do is just a bit of environmental setup to more sort of simulate working in a real project where we are accessing theme properties from some kind of object or some other store. I don't want to be adding them in on an individual basis. So this took me a while to figure out in Figma. If I go up into my Figma file and then use Control A to, in fact, what I want to do is do Control / to bring up my little UI windows, and then Control A to select everything that's there, all the designs. If I go to Inspect tab in the top right hand corner, there's colors here, and I can copy all of those and just paste them directly into my CSS file, which is handy. But I'm not going to do it into style CSS. I'm going to create a new CSS file called theme, and in there I'm going to create a root element, and I'm going to paste the colors in there. And then I'm going to go through a slightly boring and not very rational process of renaming these to custom CSS properties. I tried a bunch of different ways, maybe giving them different color names and so forth, but it was just a big hassle. I couldn't distinguish well enough between purples and blues and greys. So in the end, I just ranked them all really from lightest to darkest, and that's what I'm going to do just now. So as you can see, I've ended up with a range of colors from 000 to 999, 000 being black, 999 being white. And I've spaced them out in a relatively regular way beyond that. If I want to insert any new colors, there's plenty of space for me to add a 450 or a 420, or you know, there's wriggle room here that you sometimes don't get if you're naming things dark, darker, darkest. And also I've steered clear of the kind of semantic aspect of it. I don't really want to be naming things blue or purple, because that's really open to opinion, and yeah, you get the idea. Now while I'm in this theme CSS file, I might as well do a couple more things while I'm at it. The font we're using in this design is exclusively Red Hat Display. There are various different weights. There's 500, which is medium. There's 900, which is black. There is a bold hiding about there somewhere. Yeah, there it is, 700 bold. So we need 3 different variants on the Red Hat Display font. Now if I go to Google Fonts, type in Red Hat Display, and here it is, and then we can go to medium 500. That's one of the ones we want, and we also want bold 700 and black 900. Having selected all of those, we've got a link here that we can use to import those into the HTML, but I'm actually going to use this at import statement, and I'll show you why in a minute. So even though I'm not using a UI framework or a front-end framework, and I'm not using real components per se, I'm going to try and do this as much like I was using real front-end components as I can. So the theme should contain the font information. I'm going to store that in another CSS custom property, which, what will we call it? Font primary. And then if we save that, I'm going to go back to my CSS file and import the theme. Having created the file, it should just pop up with the IntelliSense. There it is. And then we can create an HTML block, and what should we say? Font family. Font primary. And as if by magic, we get our font available. Another thing I'm going to do is set the rem size. So I'm going to put font size 8 pixels. And that will allow us to use 8 pixels as our base unit when we're using rems to size things.